Welcome to St Mary's Pennard for a Christmas story. Must be Christmas. I'm wearing my reindeer jumper, and also we have the crib scene behind us. But this particular Christmas story needs something special. It needs reindeer antlers, and you'll find out why in a moment. When I was a little boy growing up on the other side of Swansea, in a part called St Thomas near the docks, my uncle used to tell me this story. And this story he told me because when we looked out of our window in the house, you could see the docks and you could see the ships coming in and out of the docks. And on the side of the ship's funnels was a stag, a reindeer, with antlers like this. A bit like this, but not with the red nose. And at Christmas time, he'd always tell me this story. And that story has stuck with me for 60 plus years. I've told it quite a few times, but I'd like to share it with you again today. One Christmas Eve, a ship came into the docks in Swansea, and on one side of the funnel was a huge big mammy stag reindeer, and on the other side was a little stag. The little stag was full of curiosity, wanted to find out things, always asking questions. And he sort of peered round the side of the funnel of the ship and said to his mum, "Can I go and explore? It's Christmas Eve. Can I go and see what people are doing?" Well, the mummy reindeer thought about it for a moment and then she said, "Yes, go on, but be back before it gets dark because the ship has to sail." Well, the little stag jumped off the side of the funnel, galloped along the docks and into the town. There were bright lights, there were people, there was all sorts of things. The excitement of Christmas. It was Christmas Eve and people were getting ready for the big day. Church bells were ringing and people were getting ready to go home and celebrate with their families. He wandered through the town and then he wandered over the bridge and he went and looked into the houses. And there were people gathered around fireplaces, around their TVs, around their radios, around their Christmas trees. There were children hanging their stockings up. And then he looked round and he realised it had got dark. Night had fallen. And he remembered what his mum had said to him, "Be back before it gets dark as the ship has to sail." He dashed down the hill, back over the bridge, to the docks. And much to his horror, the ship had sailed. He galloped down the length of the pier, calling out. But the ship was sailing in the distance, far away, past Mumbles, gone. He stopped. He looked. It was very dark now, and it was cold, and it started to snow. He huddled down beside the lighthouse at the end of the pier, and he started to cry. He was so upset. He hadn't listened to what his mum had told him. He hadn't done as he was told. And yet, he paid the price. The ship that he should have been on, next to his mum on the nice warm funnel, was now gone. It had sailed. What was he going to do? He cried himself to sleep, but was woken by a sound. I wonder if you've heard this sound. I'm hearing this sound at the moment. Bells. Jingle bells. And he sort of dreamily looked up and what did he see? He saw a sleigh being pulled by reindeer like himself with big antlers. And one in front with a shiny red nose. And of course in that sleigh was Santa. And they stopped and Santa said, "What's wrong?" And the reindeer told him. The little stag told him the story of how his mum had said, "Be back before it was dark." And he got so excited seeing everybody getting ready for Christmas that he'd forgotten all about going back to the ship and getting on the funnel and being safe. But Santa then said, "That's okay. Jump in my sleigh. I'll get you there." So the little stag jumped in the sleigh And up they went into the night sky with the snow still swirling all around them. And soon as they sailed out over Mumble's head over the Gower, they saw the ship below. And Santa in his sleigh swooped low. He jumped out of the sleigh with a big thank you to Santa. And was once more on the funnel next to his mum, who was crying because she thought she'd lost her little one, but he was back safe and sound for Christmas, rescued by Santa. It's a Christmas story. But you might think, well, hang on, Vicar, what's that got to do with the Christmas story about Jesus? Well, somebody was looking out for that little reindeer. I believe it was God in heaven. And he sent Santa to rescue him. Do you know, the wonderful thing about this Christmas story is that God looks out for us from heaven. That's why he sent baby Jesus. That's why we have the Christmas story of the manger and the shepherds and the wise men. God sent Jesus to look out for you and me, to rescue us when we get into trouble, and to forgive us. And sometimes we might not do quite as we're told. So that's a story for Christmas for you, reminding us that there's a real reason for the season. It's not just about the toys that Santa brings. It's also about the baby Jesus, who God sent to watch over us and to love us and to care for us. Have a wonderful, blessed and safe Christmas. Thank you for listening.